Greetings, welcome everybody. Welcome, greetings in the divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. We welcome you, we greet you, we're very, very glad to see you here today for our next panel about Rastafari Livity, Rastafari movement and culture. Yes, I am Ras Julio of the House of Rastafari, and we have the great pleasure of having here Ras Flaco Tafari, directly from Jamaica. Ras Flaco Tafari, sitting next to me, is the High Elect of Records of the Nyabingi Order. He is as well the Vice President of World Sound and Power Collective, that is a non-profit organization based in the US that helps collecting funds, money for the elders in Jamaica and abroad, the Rastafari elders. So he is as well the head manager of Wise Mind Publication, that is a publishing company that collects and publish testimonies from the elders of the Rastafari Livity. So we are glad to be here. We thank the organization and of course the public, you all, to come and join us in this session about the importance of the Rastafari elders, those that we call the ancients. Yes, the title of this panel is Ancients' Future, the history and evolution of Rastafari movement. So we wanted to take a time with you all to reason about the importance of the elders in the Rastafari Livity. Yes, in our history. The ancients are those that are preserving the culture. They are transmitting the culture to the next generations. So if I am here today talking about Rastafari, and if you are here today sharing with me feeling and knowledge about Rastafari, is because somebody before us, meaning the elders, they have paved the way, they have opened the road for I and I to be here today. So especially in this time in which we celebrate freedom, you know, it's Reggae for Freedom, Rototom Sunsplash 2016, it is important to acknowledge that a certain freedom, intellectual freedom, spiritual freedom, and physical freedom as well, is not something that came for granted, but is something that the elders of the faith, the rebel ones, they have been fighting for, they have been suffering for. Yes, for this reason they have been also discriminated and brutalized, arrested, beaten up, all heap of things. So today, I, as a younger generation, with my elder Ras Flaco, with all of you here, we should be glad of spending 1 hour of our time celebrating the elders and the importance of their message. So please, Ras Flaco, come in.
Rastafari, give thanks for your presence, give thanks for your patience, give thanks for your interest in Rastafari that have given the world so much knowledge, so much music, so much culture, so much food, who have given themselves a sacrifice to make the Rastafari movement be what it is today. But first, you have to look on historically the Jamaican situation in the 1920s, early Jamaican situation, which is a colonial area wherein ones in Jamaica, individuals in Jamaica, were struggling with their own identity, were struggling with religious forms, who went to church, hear the church doing certain religious rites, who when they went home, they see Pokomina, they see Mayal, they see Kumina, they see different forms of African retention that they need to come to grips with. Because in Jamaica, the night run different from the day, and things that you can do at night, you are not able to do it at day because it's a colonial area and you'll be persecuted for all that African retention you have. But the one thing is in common is the Bible and the songs and the Jesus and the Christ and the baptized and save and go to heaven and you condemn in hell fire, and the God who is the Spirit. But when you read the Bible, who do not confess that God is a man is an antichrist, and the Bible puts you in a direction of deep thought. So the ancients, who were the forerunners of the faith, were biblical students in their own right, who thought that being given the Bible in a Sunday school format, or seeing their grandmother or their grandfather the Bible on the table, they had a responsibility to read it in their own time. So when you look on Ethel Rogers, who created the Holy PB in the 1920s, it became the black man's Bible as an alternative to the King James Bible. Maybe when you look on it and if you read it in the context, you might figure that you don't like what's in it. You don't like the words and what it signifies. You'll also have Fitzgerald Ballantyne, who through to study created the Royal Parchment School of Black Supremacy as an alternative to the present Bible that they saw on their grandmother table or their mother table, as a upliftment within themselves, because the oppression was so great and Christianity was presented to them in a form that they could not really deal with, but it was not the balance as the Bible dictated to them to what was practically presented. So therefore, those were the early ones who, when they read the Bible, they came to the conclusion that Haile Selassie is divine. You're looking on 1917, from 1913 to 1917 to 1920s. That was the revelation of an alternative to the King James Bible that Jamaicans produced. And that was what inspired the ancients of Rastafari, even for themselves, to look deeper. So we know Leonard Howell, Joseph Nathaniel Hibbert, Archibald Dunkley, and Robert Hines. That's documented. But the thing is, which is very interesting, Joseph Nathaniel Hibbert read the Bible for 20 years and 3 months. And by doing so diligently, he came to the conclusion also about the divinity of His Majesty. By reading and studying. Archibald Dunkley read the Bible for 2 years, studied for 2 years plus. They also, when Leonard Howell was in, all these people came up with the conclusion outside of Jamaica. They came back to Jamaica with that knowledge. Remember, Howell left Jamaica at the age of 14, living in America. So when he came back to Jamaica, Howell was with Marcus Garvey, but Marcus Garvey was not about Haile Selassie, you know. Although Marcus Garvey announced, look to Africa, when the black king is crowned, your redemption is near. That was not Marcus Garvey. It was he read from Minister Webb. But still, we give thanks to Marcus Garvey for bringing it to the forefront. So you just say Marcus Garvey is within the anciency of Rastafari to proclaim that knowledge. So when Howell came back to Jamaica, he was very anxious because he see what's going on. He thought that Marcus Garvey brethren and nice with Marcus Garvey. Hey, Marcus Garvey, I want to come on your platform to proclaim Haile Selassie. I want to have one picture of His Majesty and I'm going to sell it for 1 shilling. Marcus Garvey said, no, Leonard Howell. No, not on my stage. You find somewhere else with your Haile Selassie business. Well, Howell is a strong man, so Howell just take the road to St. Thomas and him start. But when Howell reached Jamaica, the Holy PB was already there. The Royal Parchment School of Black Supremacy was already there. So Howell created the Promise Key from those literature. So you have the Promise Key as a third book out of the self showing the divinity of His Majesty. So you have 3 books on a whole. Literature, because literature is very important, you know. So Rastafari come out of oral into written.